Aaron Jones on Twitter, at Aaron Jones. The FA constantly failing to implement the B team system. Young British players develop slower and they wonder why. I thought it was really interesting.
We did this on a Ball Street show a couple of years ago on 451 about the B teams, because I think like Rafa Benitez had gone on about it a bit, about how you know the top clubs should have B teams in the lower leagues to help feed it, which and there was still about doing League 3, wasn't there, which was going to be the B team.
I don't like that idea.
I don't want either of those things.
Not with the clubs. Yeah, that would kill half of the clubs that we've got in this country. Yeah,
I like the idea of. I like the idea of clubs having tighter partnerships with some of those teams. That would probably work. We're seeing it more and more of players going on loan. I think if we had tighter partnerships, that would work. When you first asked the question there, Chris, I was thinking of the national team.
Well, that's a good point. Bring back the England B team, because that was hilarious.
I just think that was brilliant. It was a really good step, and you would play against lesser teams. No, I thought it was. I thought it was. I thought it was a good step, and sometimes it used to be able to weed out players that I'm too good for the B team. Well, if you're too good for the B team, then you're not.
Chris Sutton?
Yeah.
You're basically talking about Chris Sutton. But I'm sure younger viewers might not get that. Look it up. Chris Sutton refused to play for England B. Never played for England.
I'm sure there's plenty of others though that never publicly come out. But I used to think that was a good.
I enjoy again, just to put this into context for people who might not know, but for younger viewers, the England B team was basically all the players who were English who weren't good enough to play for the England team used to get together every now and again and play some friendlies. So like Liverpool used to have a lot of players in that. We used to have Neil Ruddock used to play for that team with John Scales, and so. I loved them. I thought they were great. But then I used to love the old reserve league as well. But I'm going to get senior players playing with a bunch of kids, and Duncan Ferguson would play there every couple of months on his comeback game and whatever.
We've got going back to the B team for players. For Premier League teams. That would have a horrendous effect on football and would really show the elite doing what they want. And that's why it's important for fans of big clubs, like the ones like us, and apart from you, Ped. But sorry,
how many trophies have you won?
Probably left.
Fuck all compared to us.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry.
Get your fucking clown shoes on.
What was I? Don't even know what I was talking about. No, it's important for us to say no, that isn't acceptable, because teams like Bury, who are going to be directly impacted by
It's going to have to be me to put a counterpoint across here.
You can't, not on an ethical
Listen, this
level.
man likes diving.
Go on.
Right. So
half and half scarves, discuss.
No, half and half scarves, scissors, discuss.
Except you're in Europe, though, right? That's all right.
It's all right in Europe.
Is it all right in Europe?
It is all right in Europe.
Yeah. What if you play Man United in Europe?
No.
No, the only...
You'd beat them, Paul?
I know, it's true, just do it. But no, the B team thing for me, and again, I look at it from a Liverpool perspective, and you look at like the progression of talent. I think it's from that perspective. So we get some good players, they play at academy level. The under-21 level is not good enough. They got rid of the reserve league because there weren't enough games, and they created the under-21 and they made that a proper thing. There's not enough games in it. The standard's not good enough. There's no...
Send them out on loan.
But where you're sending them out on loan to do what? To be managed by a lower quality of coach, a lower quality of manager, to play in worse quality stadiums.
Be careful where you send them out on loan too. Monitor them, monitor the players.
Give me how many players do you send out on loan who come back good enough for your first team? And you've got Coughlin on at the moment, he's the exception rather than
Harry Kane. How many of them would have played in the reserve league? You could argue the same thing.
But this is the point. There needs to be something B team done or the reserve thing.
But the point what about it's a completely random one off the top of my head, right? What if you just capped the amount of players clubs could buy? Then there wouldn't be the need for all of that.
Potentially, but I don't think that's the issue, is it? I don't think that our players haven't...
But when Chelsea are getting they got 37 people out on loan, that's ridiculous. Yeah. They're never going to be able to service all of those players isn't it?
That's actually a different subject. But we had Ross Barkley sent on loan to Leeds, and Warnock was the manager, and he wouldn't play him. And this was 6 months before Martinez took over, so before he became a first-team player. And he said, "Oh, I'm not playing him because he hasn't got the responsibility." So basically, obviously Neil Warnock wouldn't play him in a free role. I think he wanted him to knuckle down, and that's the problem, isn't it? You send them out to teams who might use them in the wrong way. So I think that's where football clubs have got to get better links with other clubs, and it would work both ways. I think. Okay, probably those lower teams, I think, will we're going to be taken over by the bigger teams. But it's going to work hand in hand because we've seen how many are struggling.
You're talking about the betterment of Liverpool or Tottenham or Arsenal, when, in my opinion, this is a wider issue about the betterment of football.
Exactly. But I think that's what I'm saying. It would work hand in hand. You'd have teams in the lower leagues who are struggling at the moment, who would have the help of players on loan, which they're doing anyway. But it would work in a better way because you would have almost an official link-up. But at the moment, we've got players here, there, and everywhere.
You've got players getting injured on loan at like League One and League Two clubs, and they have to come back to the parent club to be treated because they don't trust that club to treat
if they had B team league. Let's just look at London, for instance, right? So you've got Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham, right? They've all got B teams. Palace, say, right? Chelsea, they've all got B teams. Yeah, what's going to happen to Leyton Orient? What's going to happen to Brentford?
Well, Leyton Orient took an example.
They're going to have no chance because
potentially. But what about that game? Let's look at it in terms of attendances and stuff like that. Who's going to get what game's going to get more greater numbers? Leyton Orient taking on whatever Yeovil or something, or Leyton Orient taking on Arsenal's B team. And I know it sounds pathetic, and I hate saying the words out loud.
But it's just going to kill those teams. Yeah. It's going to kill Orient. It's going to kill Brentford. I mean,
there's caps on how far these B teams can rise through the leagues as well. So they couldn't rise among League One or League Two. I'm not sure. Yeah. So essentially, what you get is a team finishing 7th, maybe if there's 6 or 7 B teams, finishing 7th and getting promoted, ill-equipped to join that second that league.
What about when like all the money teams, like ourselves, go off and play in the European Super League? Can we have B team in the Premier League then?
Well, this is the thing. You've got one team, one club for the Premier League, for the Football League. And that's it.
I don't often agree with him, but I have to agree with him on this. Right? Yeah,
I can't see how you can't.
You see? Look, this is good fun, isn't it? We've got Spurs fans in our
club together.
We've got Evertonians and Liverpoolians.
Because, you know, I mean,
I feel we might all have to go for individual showers once this is done. But
B League just kills off, you know, and you could imagine like those teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United. They're going to have all the best kids as well. So they're probably going to the Championship and walk it as well.
The thing is, though, all the elite clubs, well, I say all the elite clubs, Real Madrid have got one, Barca have got one, Bayern Munich have got a B team, haven't they? You know, the top teams in Germany have got it. I don't know enough about the lower leagues of those leagues to be able to tell you whether
that. We've got an established, haven't we? We've got an established clubs that have been around for hundreds of years. In those, I think it would kill them. And again,
I would oppose anything that made the clubs at the top of the Premier League stronger than they already are. Genuinely.
What if you're one of those clubs?
Yeah, well, we are. We're second in the league. We're obviously one of them. But I wouldn't want any rule change that made us stronger. The financial fair play, in my opinion, was a load of nonsense.
I understand that's
modern
really noble, but
it's the way I feel genuinely.
It's just weird.
No, it ain't weird. It's not weird because ultimately a game doesn't have an upper echelon that is unattainable by all clubs. Isn't a competition.
There will be one of them soon, but
we've done. But are we doing that already with things like like technology? We've not even touched on that. We haven't really got time to do that today. But you know, we've already started tiering football, haven't we? With with technology and what have you. So what's the difference if it's happening anyway? You don't want to be left out when you don't want to be off the top.
But how guilty would you feel?
We need to fight against it as for football.
But how guilty would you feel though if your B team destroyed someone else's club? No matter what you think, or that's their club, and because of your selfishness,
I could probably
yours.
Yeah, no, I know. I agree.
Your diving shenanigans.
Listen. I give you. You're right, because if ultimately Liverpool's B team,
your B team just going around diving everywhere.
if Liverpool's B team killed off Tranmere Rovers, say that, I wouldn't. That would be a sad day for football.
But that's what would happen.
Maybe it wouldn't.
That would happen.
Maybe it would.
And as I said, in London, teams like Brentford, Leyton Orient.
But West Ham are already killing Leyton Orient, aren't they? So
yeah, it's true.
So
Chris, have you got any comments on that? I think we're going to have to wrap this up shortly.
Yeah, Cal says FA Cup should never be disrespected by B teams, best cup in the world. It's already disgraced by teams changing out their best teams, complete disrespect to lower league opposition. For a bit of context, there's been a massive argument on the comments about people using the B teams in the FA Cups and stuff. Just for my little 2 pence worth on it, I've said for a couple of years now, you should always put your squad in for like the League Cup and the FA Cup, and that way you can hopefully get rid of this changing out your teams. If you want to play young players in the League Cup, for example, I think you name your squad at the beginning of the season, you put a 20-man squad or 25-man squad in or something, and then if you get to the final, those kids don't get pulled out. And for me, that's a way of safeguarding their future and their development as football players.
It's definitely an interesting one.